Monday night, New York Jet fans and NFL fans. I'm going to call this a Victory Monday night. It is October 10th, 2022, 9:31 p.m. And right now, Week 5 of the NFL is almost done. Monday night in Kansas City, the Las Vegas Raiders are beating the Kansas City Chiefs 17-7. I think they're close to halftime at this point, so we'll keep an eye on that game. It was actually 17-0. Travis Kelce just caught a touchdown pass to make it 17-7, but the Raiders are on the move. So tremendous weekend in sports in the New York for New York sports, I should say, not in the New York area, because there was one game that was away. First thing, let's get to baseball. And for Met fans, I am sorry. I'm not a Met fan. I'm a Yankee fan. But, I'm not a hater. Mets 101 game winners. Buck Showalter, I think, did a tremendous job. Your new owner and whatnot. I know it doesn't make up for the one playoff series and out. You had tremendous aspirations. Two things I'm going to say. Number one, you are going to be a team to be reckoned with. Buck will have this team going. And I think he's the right manager, even though people may be questioning what he did. And how the last month of the season went and how he prepared them for the wild card. Secondly, I know last night Twitter was on fire with, the pitcher on the Padres having an illegal substance on his ears. His ears were glistening. There was tweets that they had to check him. There was tweets from another baseball player that said that most pitchers will put Red Hot on their ears. It's a stinging sensation to keep them in the groove. Other players were talking and said, these were all tweets and whatnot, that the rotation and the velocity on his pitches were higher than average, and if they were Buck Showalter, they would have checked also. Listen, I don't have a problem with Buck checking if he had any type of illegal substance on him, because yes, the Mets lost. Yes, their bats one hit. They lost 6-0. If Showalter does not go out there and ask for them to check this pitcher, then all of the headlines today, other than the loss, is that pitcher cheated. Buck took a chance. He put what was the best interest for the team to win the game, and it's almost like throwing a challenge out there and hoping for the best, throwing a Hail Mary up and hoping for a pass interference downfield late in the game. I have no problem with what Buck did. It's part of the game. It's not cheating. It's not stealing signs. It's not stepping out of the box every pitch. He wanted to make sure that the pitcher was on up and up. Obviously, they found nothing. It made Buck look bad. It made Buck look wrong. I know some TV analysts and other analysts were saying it looked like desperation. Yeah, it was desperation, but you know what? If they would have found something on him, then Buck looks like a hero today. I have nothing wrong, see nothing wrong with that. It brought me back to the Pine Tar game with George Brett and the Yankees in 1983. So Met fans, I am sorry, but the future is tremendous for you. You had the NL batting champ. You had a great season. It didn't end the way you wanted it to end, but just got to go from there. It's going to be a long winter. But Tuesday night, the Rangers start up. Thursday night, the Islanders start up, and of course, the divisional round of the playoffs start, and the Yankees will continue. And there was drama there when Chapman contacted the Yankees yesterday, their relief pitcher, and said, "Am I going to be on the ALDS roster?" And they said, "We don't know." And he says, "Well, if you don't tell me if I'm going to be on the roster, I'm not going to show up for workout." And they said, "You know what? Don't show up." So the Yankees are actually going into game one of the ALDS without a closer, or without their natural closer. So that was that. With baseball, hockey starts. We get into the groove with that. That's a long season. Giants go into London to face the Green Bay Packers. And I'm going to go back to this. The Giants, to me, are playing New York Jets 2009-2010 football. Their coach is a different breed. He's outspoken. He's in their face. He was in Daniel Jones's face. First of all, let me just go to this game here. They call a roughing the passer penalty on a sack, and it's getting ridiculous. They did the same thing in the Tampa Bay game last night. They're trying to save the quarterbacks from injury, and then they're making a mockery out of the sack. I get you don't want to go helmet to helmet or clothesline or hit them forearm to head, but you got to make these guys tackle. Um, as I heard tonight, somebody say quarterbacks wear helmets too, so that has to be looked at. So the Giants and the Packers go to Lambeau, and I'm not going to say it was neutral because Lambeau Packer fans travel, they're international. So I would say that yes, there was a diverse crowd yesterday, but you had more Packer fans than any other fan. You know, you saw your Miami Dolphins and you saw your Buffalo Bills and your Raiders and your Cowboy jerseys. You saw your Giant jerseys, but you also saw your Packers. Um, the Giants down big early. Saquon gets injured. It just doesn't look good. You know, you have Aaron Rodgers, you have the seasoned veteran, the great Green Bay Packers, and the Giants come back. Saquon, after he gets injured, comes out of the tunnel, and it just sparks the Giants, and they win. I believe it was 22 to 20, 22 to 20, 22-17. I'm not sure, but a great win. The Giants are 4-1. Their only losses to the Cowboys. Cowboys rolled to five wins with their backup quarterback, um, and it's just it's just crazy what's going on in the AFC, the NFC East. You have the Eagles, without a loss yet, also perfect. They're the only ones left. So you say, all right, Mets have game 3 elimination Sunday night. The Giants, as I was on my way to the game, had their game. They were actually losing. They won. When we got to the stadium, we realized they won. And then you have the Jets now facing Miami. And for probably the last, I'm going to say 10 years, they do what they call MetLife Takeover. And it's a Miami Dolphin fan club. I believe they're based in Miami. I'm not sure if they're based more up north, but they wind up buying out sections of the stadium, usually upper corners of the end zone, and they resell them, and they have, they travel very well. I didn't see as many in the upper corners, but Miami Dolphin fans were scattered around. Just a few things. Going to games for 30 plus years, I've seen every NFL team play live. Okay? There has to be a dose of reality, and the hating has to stop. At one point the Jets are up by I think 12-0, and we're doing the JETS, Jets, and Dolphin fans are yelling suck, suck, suck. You're losing by 12 points. What suck, suck, suck? Yes, you beat the Buffalo Bills. Yes, you've won some big games, but you're losing. The guy behind me started the third quarter was like, these are the Jets. So, this is not going to stay for long. We're going to come back and beat them. Same old Jets, same old Jets. I don't say anything. To me, I've seen this all. I've sat next to Raider fans. I've sat next to Bills fans, Patriot fans. I actually had a Washington Redskin fan heckle one year when they were like 2-5, and it's just like, listen, it's all good and fun, but you want to speak about the teams. Let's speak intelligently. Dolphins were a 3.5-point favorite yesterday, which means they're actually almost a 6 or 7-point favorite. They did not have Tua coming in to play the game because of his concussion and his injury. And that was tremendous because, and I'll tell you why, after the way the Dolphins debacle with Tua injury was handled, 2 games in a row, the NFL released a new rule, and I had no idea this happened. It went into effect this week. It might have even went into effect yesterday. I don't even know if it went into effect for the Thursday game. And basically, if a player is concussed, there is and so previously, if a player was concussed, he had to go through concussion protocol. If he passed, he was able to play. Now it's even if he passes, if they feel that he is still at a risk, he can't play the game. So we'll hold on to that. So got to the stadium a little later than usual, and it took me 25 minutes to get from the toll plaza to the parking lot gates, which is a probably a quarter to a half a mile ride. Um, Parking lots were packed when we got there. Mostly Jet fans. Like I said, diverse. You could feel the energy. It was a little different, a little bit more of a this game means something type thing. I'm just watching the game right now. Raiders are up 20-7 with 7 seconds left in the second quarter. A lot of penalties go back and forth, a lot of personal fouls. So we're going to see what Mahomes does these last 7 seconds. I don't think they're in field goal range yet. No, they're on their side of the 50. So anyway, get to the seats, and they have Jet legends and Jet alumni lined up on the field, and they're announcing the Ring of Honor inductees so far. And you have there, of course, you have some, older players. You have some younger players, guys that just left. I believe Bilal Powell was there. Quincy Enunwa was there. Wayne Krebet, Mark Gastineau, Marty Lyons, Joe Klecko, the sack exchange is there. And it ends with, of course, Broadway Joe Namath. And you feel like, all right, there's a little bit more going on now. There's a little bit more, the feel that the players are hyped. They're coming off a win in Pittsburgh, 2-2, AFC East. Dolphins are 3-1. Let's go. We get the ball first, and we go 3-and-out. And Zach actually is the last one of the starting players to come out, and he gets a tremendous ovation. We punt, and the special teams was on point yesterday, and we punt and we get the ball down inside the 2-yard line. And Kansas City just hit a 59-yard field goal, and it's 20-10 as they go into the half. So punt, Teddy Bridgewater comes out, the former Jet. And I always liked Teddy. I thought he could have helped with Darnold with his development, but Teddy wanted to be a starter, and you couldn't afford both, and blah, 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 and he went to the Saints. And anyway, so he's on the Dolphins, and I'm like, all right, we didn't get Tua, who has 2 or 3 years in the league. We have Teddy, and he's a veteran, and what are we going to do? First play of the game, they do a blitz. Sauce Gardner comes off the right side of Teddy Bridgewater. As Teddy has his arm cocked back and coming forward, Sauce wraps him up, brings him to the ground. Ball falls to the ground. Jet lineman jumps on the ball, thinking it's a live ball. The place erupts, and it turns out it's an incomplete pass. But Teddy Bridgewater is called for intentional grounding in the end zone. So first play on defense, Sauce Gardner gets his first sack, causes a safety. Jets going to get the ball back, and here we go. Teddy Bridgewater's knocked out of the game. Didn't realize it till the second or third possession Miami had, but turns out it was listed as an elbow injury because he did land on his elbow. Heard last night and read reports today he was concussed, and even though he passed the first part of the protocol, they felt that he could not come back to the game. This is an independent advisor that said this. This may not fly going forward. They're going to have to try to hammer down more details because, I don't know if Teddy was able to come back. I don't know if he was not able to come back. But to have somebody say he passed what we asked them, and then and we felt he still couldn't come back. They have to reevaluate with their testing and asking. But again, player safety is important. So Teddy is gone, and Skylar Thompson, 7th round pick, rookie, third string quarterback, comes into play. All I heard about last night and this morning was Dolphins were injured. They had third string quarterback. Listen, I sat there on a Thursday night or a Monday night when um, Thursday night when the Cleveland Browns knocked out two of our starting quarterbacks, and we were down to the third string. I sat there when we had Joe Flacco, who just listen. Joe won one out of the three games he played, or one out of the three, and nobody said, well, they don't have Zach. All the excuses, and all we heard was, well, the Dolphins didn't have their starting quarterback. They're down to third string. Okay, I'll take that. But you play who you're going to play. I was telling my cousin yesterday, even though we may win this game, and this was early in the game, if we win, we're going to hear, we're playing a third string, we're playing and he's like, you don't worry about who you played, you worry about how you played. You got the W, enjoy the W. And you know what? It goes into the column as a win. It doesn't go in as a half a win or a win with an asterisk. It goes in as a win. So you know what? It goes in as a win. Let's get this W. Jets were up at one point, 12-0. They had the safety, they had a field goal, and then just some great plays by Zach, who didn't have to do too much. He didn't have to be a game saver. He did take a bad sack. There was, Dwayne Brown was back. It did help a little bit. He was a little bit under pressure, but there was points where Zach looked poised in the pocket. He hit a wide open Breece Hall down the field twice. Breece Hall, if he's putting up numbers like he did yesterday, and they get this running game going, he's going to be unstoppable. Looking at highlights yesterday, Tua has a concussion. He still won't return to practice yet. So Breece Hall yesterday gets 97 yards on the ground, one rushing touchdown, 100 yards receiving. He had 197 yards from scrimmage and a touchdown. Amazing. Michael Carter only had like 21 yards on the ground. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. Zach Wilson, 14 of 21, 210 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, no interceptions, no fumbles. He took 1 sack, 99.3 QBR. Okay? So, yes, we played a third string quarterback. This is our offense that did this. This is our offense. Not on defense. Okay? You want to talk defense? Sauce Gardner. Sack. Safety. Okay? Held Tyreek Hill and Waddle, I believe, to less than 100 yards combined. No touchdowns. Okay? One sack, 1 INT for Sauce. Great game by Sauce. Still has to work on his tackling a little bit, but great game by Sauce. Okay? Quinnen Williams and Franklin Myers, half a sack each. On the sack, Skylar fumbles. Quinnen picks it up. It was actually Carl Lawson that caused the fumble. Quinnen picks it up. Tyreek Hill. Now, listen, Tyreek is an athlete. He could probably outrun a cheetah. Has the hands of one of the of a great wide receiver. Runs crisp routes. Is a weapon. He was a weapon in KC. He's going to be a weapon for the Dolphins. Tries to tackle Quinnen Williams. Quinnen has got to be 280, 290. Quinnen just put up an arm and knocked Tyreek right out of the way. And that kind of just put the exclamation point. The Jets went into the fourth quarter up 19-17. Okay? And Miami fans were still yapping. And, I knew it was a field goal between us. And they had already missed a field goal, the Dolphins. They tried a 50-something yarder, and they missed it. But the Jets needed to get something done. And Zach went to work and got them downfield with the running game. Corey Davis, Brees Hall down the sidelines, um, and then rushing touchdown. Okay, then it's 26-17, rushing touchdown, 33-17. Fumble, recovery, rushing touchdown, 40-17. And of course, that's how it started. 40-17. And it's just, to sit there and enjoy it was amazing. And you just you're not, as a Jet fan, you're not used to it. First of all, first time we won in the AFC East since 2019. We lost 12 in a row. First time this year that we had a lead in the fourth quarter, that we didn't have to come back. We never relinquished the lead at all. And basically, even when it was 26-17, it was still, a two-score game. But you could see the Dolphin fans starting to go. Then 33, Dolphin fans starting to go. And then at 40, the place was just empty. There was no MetLife takeover. Listen, the Dolphin fans came out to represent. I haven't seen it. It wasn't like in the years past, but they were not leaving happy. They were not leaving with a win. And then all we heard about was injuries. Well, you know what? You don't get extra points if you win and you have an injury. You don't get less points if you win when you play a team with injuries. It counts as a win. It counts as a division win, a conference win. The Jets are 3-2. We've played 5 conference games, 1 within the division, and we are 3-2 that way. We are 1-0 in the division, and you know what? We go to Lambeau next week, and we face the Packers, who look human. I'm not going to give a prediction right now. I want to see how the week comes about. I want to see injury reports and whatnot, but I had us losing to Green Bay, but winning this game against Miami. At this point, I had us at 2-3. We're 3-2. I'm glad that I'm wrong, but I have us losing next week at Green Bay. I will revisit my predictions and go over the scores. The atmosphere in the beginning was just intense. It did level off for a while, especially when it got to, I think it was 14 or 12. I forgot what it was at the half. But, it was within that one score. I think it was 19-14 at the half. And you knew it was a one-score game, and any bounce of the ball. But Zach played well. He didn't have to be the savior. He has a young, talented receiving crew behind him. 2 great running backs. I will say this, he distributed the ball well. Garrett Wilson caught some. Corey Davis caught some. Conklin caught some. Brees Hall caught a ton. We had 100 yards receiving. I'd like to see Elijah Moore get more into the game. And I think as the season goes on, they will, do that. Couple of plays I was not happy with. Now, 3rd and 25, they ran a draw. I think they picked up 12 yards on it. They picked up half of it, and they had, respectable punting room. That has been in the Jet playbook for as long as I can remember, going back to like 1992. The only time something like that ever worked, in my opinion, was 1991 in Joe Robbie, when the Jets beat the Dolphins to go to the playoffs. Bruce Cossack called the draw on 4th and whatever, and Freeman McNeil picked it up, got him at the field goal range, and the Jets, I said it in my old video last week, Louis Aguilar kicked a field goal to tie it, a field goal to win it in overtime. You're not really going to catch them off guard, but I didn't like that. Then twice they had 4th and 1 at the Jets. Respectable field position, and twice they went for it. I was all for them going for it. Both times they passed it. The first time they passed it, and even my cousin said he threw a back shoulder pass to the sideline, hoping for either a spectacular catch, which he wouldn't be able to make because the ball wasn't catchable, or a pass interference or defensive call to get him that 1 yard. It was a desperation play. When you have 4th and 1, you want a high percentage play. Hit your tight end 3 yards out. Give it to your running back who's eventually going to get close to 100 yards on the ground. I don't want Zach running too much. He did scramble for 11 yards for a touchdown. He dove in head first, and that kind of scared us. But he scored. I didn't like that. Later on in the game, 4th and 1 again. They threw another pass. This time it worked. It was a little bit more of a higher percentage pass. It wasn't a longer route. You want to catch them off guard, yeah, but you don't want to go downfield and make it a low percentage chance. That's my problem. There were some times when the defense played bend don't break, and the Dolphins took advantage of that to get down the field. Questionable pass interference calls. I don't know. Sometimes one call, the ball first of all was severely underthrown. The wide receiver stopped and tried to come back. I believe it was Sauce had his back to the ball. Last minute, the ball, just short. They said, that the pass interference. Another play. Ticky-tack play, pass interference, cost the Jets first down. It was both on 3rd down, I believe, and gave the Dolphins field position. I believe eventually gave them points. But the Jets overcame that with an exclamation. They put up 40 points, no turnovers. We had one interception. That was Sauce. Great play. He jumped the route. And you can see they're starting to come together. They're not there yet, but they're coming together. I want to see LaFleur open the playbook a little bit more. When the running game is on, it's working. When it's not, he just keeps trying to pound it. And that draw up the middle, they have to do something else. Maybe a little pitch out. Maybe, an end around or something. Berrios had a touchdown on the ground, an end around that gave him the 40. Beautiful play. He dove the last 3 yards. Did get the wind knocked out of him. But, things like that. The defense needs to be more aggressive. They need to get to the quarterback more, but there was some pressure there. And I will say this third-string quarterback, Skylar Thompson, was poised in the pocket. He made passes that he needed to make. There were some passes that were off, but he did not look like a rattled youngster. If Bridgewater's out, he may be serviceable for the next couple of weeks because I don't know when Tua's coming back, if he's coming back this year. But in the end, 40-17, it was great to be at a win where literally sat back as people filed out and just waited for the clock to, hit 0. As you saw in the video, Sweet Caroline, I don't know where that came from. That's the first time I ever did that. But Jets win 40-17. I had them winning this game 23-17, only because I didn't think they put 40 on the board. But if you want to go by my picks, I had 1, 2, 3, 4 picks. One game is still being played now. And I had KC winning 26-13, giving 7.5, and right now they're losing 20-10. So that's probably what I'm not going to get. I had Jacksonville beating Houston 23-16. Houston actually wins 13-6. Jacksonville, it looked like Trevor Lawrence threw another pick in the end zone. Atlanta getting 10 over Tampa Bay. Tom Brady in Tampa Bay wins 20-13. So the plus 10 I hit. So that's 1 for 2. The Chargers beat the Browns 24-13. I had the Browns winning 30-28. That was a loss. I had the Jets winning without even getting the points, so that was a win. So I had 2 wins, 2 losses, probably a loss tonight. So I'm going to go 2-3 on the night. I will say this. The ticky-tack call last night on Tom Brady, a lot of people's reaction was because it was Tom Brady. And Brady was asked about that, and he actually said in the press conference, I don't throw the flags. Now, I know that there is a stature of athletes in all different sports, and I'll give you an example. So Tom Brady is part of the royalty of the NFL. I heard stories of when Joe Namath was towards his demise. They put in that if you hit him, just try to keep him upright, try to wrap him up, don't go for his knees or whatnot, as a respect. Um, I remember Brian Leach speaking about rookie year when he played for the Rangers. The Rangers were playing the Edmonton Oilers, and Mark Messier was actually not on the Rangers yet. He was for the Oilers, and Messier was cross-checking Leach in the corner, um, and Leach said something to the ref, like, "What are you going to do?" And he's like, "That's Mark Messier." So different players can get away with different things. Um, I think more in football, more in hockey, basketball, when they call fouls. Not in football, not in baseball, rather. But you want to protect Tom Brady. He is the face of your franchise and of the league. I get that. Pat Mahomes is the face of the league and the future of the league. Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson. But they get paid. They wear pads. They wear helmets. You get slammed to the ground. Listen, that should be a penalty. You get pancaked, a forearm to the head, helmet to helmet. That should be a penalty. When you're wrapped up and you're kind of swung around because you can't do anything else to bring them down, that should not be a penalty. And the refs need to um, review this. The rules committee need to review this. Yes, we want longevity. We want to see clean games. We don't want to see anybody hurt, but it's got to be a time and place of, you know, they're professional athletes. They wear a helmet too. If not, you know what? Put a red shirt on all of them, no shells, and make it a touch league just for the quarterback. But until you do that, you got to revise your rules. Um, so it's 20-10, 11:29 to go, third quarter, and it's getting to be a little chippy of a game, barking back and forth, some pushing and fighting. Um, a lot of penalties. So I don't know. I think KC may be able to come back with this. There's plenty of time left. Almost full 2 quarters. So that's us. We are the takeoff. If you went to the game yesterday, how'd you feel? I mean, I thought it was a good crowd, probably one of the best crowds in a long time. Um, you know, um, Opening day, you always get a nice electric crowd. But for week 5, where, you're coming off a win, and my cousin had said, I can't believe how many Dolphin fans are here. And there really wasn't a lot as compared to the past. He goes, I can't believe Jet fans are selling their tickets. And I said, yes. A couple of reasons. The first reason is you look at the schedule, and I really don't do this because usually I'm at all the games, but you look at the schedule and you look at the marquee games. Off the bat, all the AFC East games are marquee. Okay? I do know we have coming into MetLife the Bears and the Lions. I don't know if that's going to be, a marquee game. And I'm trying to think who else we have. So we have Bears and Lions are 2. We have 2 more. AFC East teams is 4. We already played 2 is 6. I'm trying to think who else is coming in to play us. But anyway, Jacksonville, I believe we're playing, and I gotta see who else. But you look at it, you say before the season starts, what can I sell? What's going to be? People looked long weekend, Columbus Day weekend, Miami early on. Let's try to get big bucks for the game, and they do that. I can't blame them. They're trying to make back some money on their season tickets or their PSLs, whatever it is. What stinks is people always speak about home field advantage. The Jets don't have a home field advantage. And MetLife is not as loud as the old stadium. Um, and I think a lot of it is because the old stadium had three levels. Okay, you had your field level, you had your mezzanine, which was only I think 15 or 20 rows deep, and then you had your upper deck. On the mezzanine level were suites at the back. Okay, so it really didn't do anything with the height of the level, and then you had luxury boxes above the press gate as well. Here is you have your field level, okay, then you have your second level, and along the sidelines now you have luxury suites between the second level and the third level, and then you have luxury suites again, and it separates the outside fans, and it takes you, and the upper level is actually set back a little bit more, so it's not as loud. But you have a winning team, you have a team that's in a potential playoff race, you will get home field. Okay, I have been there, opening day, 2010, opening day of the stadium for us, Monday night against the Ravens. Okay, first of all, everybody wanted to go. We just came off the AFC Championship appearance against Indy the year before. We just did Hard Knocks. We had Santonio Holmes, that was on the team. We had LaDainian Tomlinson. We had, it's 20-17 now. So Kansas City came right back. Kelsey with a second touchdown. And I remember it was a torrential downpour, lightning, and the game was postponed at least an hour or so. That place was rocking. Okay? Following week against the Patriots, that place was rocking. So it's not MetLife, it's the product. You put the Green Bay Packers, the New England Patriots, the Dallas Cowboys in a parking lot with a Dust Bowl field, it'll be rocking because of who they are, because of the team, because of how good they are. Same thing will happen with the Jets. Giants, that stadium's rocking for the Giants this year. This week, I don't know who they're playing yet, but I can't imagine what it's going to be like there this week when they go back. 3-1 or 4-1 beating Green Bay? I mean, come on. So anyway, that's my spiel on home field. Talk more about that throughout the season. Listen, if you were at the game yesterday, I'd love to hear where you were, what you did. You have pictures, you have video, your tailgate. What was your opinion of how they played? Are you happy so far? Do you think, obviously they can be improved, but where do you think they can be improved? Did you watch from a bar? Did you watch from home? Are you headed to Lambeau this week? Let's hear what you have to say. So far, I'm dropping stuff here. I'm happy. We are a play away of being 1-4. We are a play or two away of being 4-1. We're 3-2. I had us at 2-3. Listen, it's in October and the season is not over. And after we lost to Cincinnati, I was really down. And I said, we're going into October. By Halloween, this season is over. Like last year, the year before that, and the year before that. It's a little different this year. Anything can happen. I know it's only going to be October 16th on Sunday when they play again. And 4-2 would be wonderful, and then they go to Denver. I mean, they can only play who's in front of them. They can only play 1 week at a time. October, we are not dead. We are still relevant. Just as relevant as the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City loses tonight. We have the same record as them. I'm going to leave you with that. We are the Takeoff. Follow us on Twitter at the Jets Takeoff is our Twitter handle. Facebook, the Takeoff Facebook group. Please join. It's a public group. You can search for it. Email us at the Jets Takeoff at gmail.com. The Jets Takeoff at gmail.com. And of course, subscribe to this video. We want to get as many subscribers as we could. We want to reach people And we want to make this a great fan site. We want your insight. It's the Takeoff on YouTube. You can also Google it or Google my name, Alex Pozziali. I'm going to put up also the the contact us information as well. Have a great rest of your week. Have a blessed week, however you say it, a blessed week, a blessed week. I don't know what the great correct way to say it is. Stay healthy, be happy, and let's go Jets.